Alright, it's day number 29 of my attempts to enhance ability to speak English, just talking in front of the camera. And as always, I'm gonna answer some IELTS questions, and we're gonna talk about stories today. And I don't know, probably someone noticed that today I wear white t-shirt, and what does it mean? Like, I think I don't know why did I pay attention to it, but it's first time when I'm recording this video and wearing like another color of my t-shirt. Usually it's just black one, but this time it's white. Like, nobody care. All right, so let's get started. Today, unfortunately, I'm not in the nature because I had some tasks in the morning. Now it's like noon, and I need to do something else. So I don't have time to go somewhere to record the video, then return home. So I just have to do it as soon as possible, and and nothing else. All right, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about stories, as I mentioned. And first question: what stories did you like when you were young? By the way, I first of all I wanted to hate these questions, but then I realized that when I was young, I really liked some. Fuck, what's going on? It's my eye. All right. When I was young, I really liked to listen some scary stories. I watched something on my TV, or I like to hear from another people some scary stories about spirits, about something on nature, if you know what I mean, like something strange that isn't isn't common in our environment. And I really liked some like scary stories, and yeah, that's probably type of stories that I really liked. Do you prefer listening to stories or reading them? To be honest, listening, because it was a time when I was like 12 years old probably. I had a tablet, and I like to find some video, for example, in YouTube, and to listen it, even if it wasn't YouTube. I still preferred to talk with someone, and some of people tell me about the story, about some story. I really liked it because nowadays I can say that I'm enjoyer of reading, and especially in back then I definitely can say that I liked reading. So I mean, I didn't love reading, so of course I preferred listen to stories. All right. Have you ever written any stories before? I guess no, because for example, there are, how does it, Reddit? Yeah, like Reddit, and I have never opened it. I never read stories from there. I only listened to YouTube, like someone read some story from Reddit, but I have never opened it. I have never read something on my own, and therefore I didn't write some stories. And I don't know. It was like pa- passive moves. Like when you don't want to do something, you just want to consume the content, like the stories, but you don't create anything on your own. So no, I have never written such stories. Uh, do you enjoy watching movies or shows based on stories? Um, Nowadays, no. I like when we are talking. Oh, no, wait. It depends on the stories that we are talking about, because when I gonna watch some scary movies that based on real story, I hate it. I don't really like it, and I don't believe it. So it isn't useful. At least it isn't something that I need to know. I need to watch. So I don't like it. But if you are talking about some issues that are opening for us due to the movie, like Oppenheimer or uh, I don't remember, like something like Siri. I don't remember how it goes. So like tattoo. Let me check. I found it. I found it. It's the tattooist of Aswents. I hope it's right. So it's a story about Second World War, and I like such stories. For example, if I gonna watch like movie about it or a small series, I don't mind, to be honest. But again, if you are talking about something like scary stories, movies, I like it isn't necessary for me, and I have no reasons to watch it. All right, let's move next. Who used to tell you stories when you were a child? I don't know. I like didn't have a person, like the specific person who gonna talk me about a lot of stories. I just listen to it from YouTube, from different shows, and nothing else. So in my childhood, I have never had like a person who was able to tell me a lot of stories every time. That usually it was like TV show. I mean, all right. I don't know. To be honest, I expected something another when I read the topic about stories, and I remember someone asked me, "Do I prepare to those questions?" No, I don't prepare. I even don't read them before start the video. So I'm reading it first time. And by the way, if someone interested in answer it, I always leave those questions below the video in the description. So if someone interested in, welcome. And let's move next. Part 2 on ground. Describe a story you have heard, you have heard or read that you found interesting. You should say what the story was about, where or when you heard it or read it, who told you or where you read it, and explain why you found it interesting. No way, bro. Alright, probably. I don't. It's always have like a minute for preparation, but I don't know. It distracts me when I prepare. Then I need suddenly give an answer. So I'm trying to answer after reading those questions. And to be honest, I'm not gonna talk about stories or something like this that I hear, because I have never heard some really interesting stories that I still remember and still want to share with others. So I can mention only about the movie, like Oppenheimer. I just find it as some story, some scientific story about like global problem. It's a really global problem that caged us about nuclear bombs, and it was a huge problem because in that time when different countries like America and Japan, if I'm not mistaken, had a conflict between them. uh, Unfortunately, one side of them decided to use nuclear bomb to create it, and when the guy who helped with that realized it, he was so disappointed what did he done, and he like talks about, I don't know about why, but wait, I was talking about it so serious just to start laughing now, bro. Hell no. So I mean, it tells us about uh, it was in that time impending problem that nobody prevent, and as a result nowadays a lot of countries have nuclear bombs, and it it just could be irreversible problem in the future, to be honest, because if someone gonna start using it, our world just can be destroyed. And I don't know, it's like pretty sad to think about it, to imagine it, and the Oppenheimer tells how does it imagine, what consequences do they have, and I don't know, if someone didn't watch it, you actually should to do it, because I really liked it. It's one of my favorite movies, to be honest. I rated it as 10 stars, so yeah, it's like the stories that I really liked, and I recommend someone who looking for serious movie about a really great story, that a story that explores something and then share with us those knowledges, and I don't know, and I find it as something useful. I mean, because usually people looking for like engaging movies and just to laugh. I also like it. To be honest, I like each genre of movies, but now we're not gonna talk about movies because I started switch my topics, and I'm talking more than 1 to 2 minutes just because I wanted a bit to describe what happened in that time in that movie, since I find it really, uh, really useful and interesting for me. That's why I decided to tell actually about it, and also I guess that we can count it as story just because it's a historical moment, and for example, if I not gonna watch a movie about it, but someone else tell me about it, it will be a story. If you know what I mean, I hope you know what I mean. And yeah, so let's move next. Topic 3, part 3. Topic: the role of stories in our lives. Why do people like listening to or reading stories? I don't know, it's a great question. I guess it even related to nature of person. Like I don't know why, but the person have tend to learn something, to listen about something, because we found it interesting, and I even could say that the humanity trying to develop, trying to find something new, and when we hear the story, at least it's more interesting than just silence, and also it's some information that we can tell about to others, and probably that's the reason, because in my case I like to listen some stories, especially if it's related to someone of my acquaintance, or just historical stories like I mentioned about Oppenheimer, but I can't explain why do I like it. I mean, it's really interesting to me to listen about it, to realize this issue. Probably my mindset a bit changing when I hear mm, some of story, or even you know what? It's not even about realizing something or changing our mindset. I mean, in this case, we hear something new, and if someone made some mistake, we're able to avoid it in the future just by listening to these stories. So it leads to improving ourselves. So that's probably the reason, like improving ourselves. As a conclusion, I can say that it's the only reason why do people, not the only, the most important, the most significant reason why people try not to listen or to read some stories. How important are stories for children? Uh, to be honest, it depends on stories, because if you're talking about something like scary stories that I liked to listen in my childhood, it's useless, and moreover, it's harmful, because I was scary to go somewhere alone. I afraid of some uh, spirits that didn't exist and doesn't exist, and it was pretty stupid, to be honest. So, but if we're gonna talk about historical stories, or about uh, some stories that is pretty interesting with no, like some stories that are really interesting, but at the same time they are teaching something in this life to avoid some mistakes, problems, and such story we actually have to tell to our future children, to generally to someone that gonna help us and like make us better, if you know what I mean. Alright, do you think stories can influence people's behavior or beliefs? What does mean beliefs and how? Let me check what does mean beliefs. Ah, alright. Oh, it's like believe, but beliefs, like the things that you're believing. Alright, it's a great question, by the way. I like it. It's one of the best for today, because as I mentioned, in my childhood, I watched a lot of scary TV shows and stories. I listened like tremendous quantity, and as a result, I don't know, to 12 years old to 13 years old, I for real was afraid to do some things, to go somewhere alone, to stay alone at home, just because I listened to those fucking stories and nothing else. And I really believe that such ridiculous things really exist in our life. So definitely, if you're talking not about people, but about kids, I mean about kids, about young people, if you're gonna talk about, yeah, it definitely changes their mind, influences their behavior, their beliefs. But if you're talking about older person, I don't think so, to be honest. It depends on your not like education, but on your mindset. But generally, if you are healthy adult person, you're not gonna believe such such like bullshit. So yeah, generally it influence kid, but um, I don't think that it's capable of influence like adult persons. All right, how has the way people consume stories changed over time? For example, when I told in the beginning today of the video, I mentioned that in my case, I listened to story more due to my laptop, no, due to my tablet, not due to another people. But previously, when it didn't exist, I mean, several decades ago, uh, people hadn't this ability. They they had to read it or to listen from other people. But especially today, nowadays, uh, we don't need an ability to go somewhere to talk with someone just to hear some story. Just, I don't know, you are able even to open ChatGPT and to click in one button or button. I don't remember. I always confusing in English words, but I hope you got what do I mean. And tell him like, bro, tell me about some story, and he gonna like talk with you about it. So you don't need to put any efforts to hear some story, like any genre you wish, any genre you wish. Alright, are traditional stories still relevant in today's world? I don't know what does mean traditional stories. In my opinion, when we're gonna talk about traditional stories, it's probably something about culture, but I don't remember anything about culture. And all right, I can count it as historical questions. If you are talking about history, yes, definitely there are a lot of things that going on in our world. For example, as today, Russia decided to attack Ukraine. It's terrible actions that m- mustn't mustn't happen. Yeah, how could we imagine that in 21 centuries such actions are able to going on? So if we are talking more about history, we have to tell about it next again, and world have to know about issues that happen because of such actions to uh, not to do it again in the future. I mean, because when we explore our past, uh, we like become smarter. We can say smarter. We know more about those stories, and we're not gonna allow to happen something in the future. And especially we wouldn't be uh, a group of people who gonna affect it, if you know what I mean, who gonna influence it in negative way, I mean. So yeah, I guess it's important if we are talking about history, but tradition stories, bro, like what does it mean? All right, I tired. All right, I'm not really tired, to be honest. I just expected another questions today, like to talk about stories. I don't mind, but I expected about another stories about. I expected another questions. So all right, whatever. That's all for today. Tomorrow will be day number 30. God damn. And I hope I will be on the nature, not at home. And see you tomorrow.